Welcome to the 9/11 Explosive Evidence, and thank you for engaging with me in this critically important and controversial subject. These students from my home state of California were upset about skyrocketing tuition costs last year, enough to want to practice civil disobedience. This is how they were treated. The police are using military-grade pepper spray and were found in a $1 million settlement to the students to have violated their First Amendment right to peaceful protest. These types of extreme and violent measures have been used increasingly as a result of 9/11. Have you ever been mistreated? And when was the last time you trusted someone completely and then found out later that they were lying to you? Do you remember how it felt to be deceived? I do. 5 years after 9/11, when I finally learned what really happened at the World Trade Center, I felt sick to my stomach. It also makes me sick to realize that we've lost a lot of our freedom because of 9/11, freedoms that actually date back 800 years to the Magna Carta in England. Did you know that today you can be arrested without charge, without the right to a lawyer or a trial, held indefinitely, and even tortured? All because of 9/11. Well, maybe we should take a close look at 9/11. When I saw these towers coming down on TV, I was in shock, like most other Americans, and I automatically believed what the media was reporting about the cause of the collapses. My eyes were seeing one thing on TV, but my ears were hearing something else from the experts in the media.
It was the combination of the impact load doing great damage to the building, followed by the fire, that caused collapse.
And the authorities prevailed because I wasn't engaging in critical thinking to deal with the discrepancies. For instance, did you know that 2 planes brought down 3 skyscrapers on 9/11? Most people, including architects and engineers, don't. The 9/11 Commission and the media didn't even tell us about the 3rd worst structural failure in modern history. But I will. Watch. Have you seen buildings come down like this before? Like when they tear down the old hotels in Las Vegas. This is World Trade Center 7, a 47-story skyscraper not hit by an airplane, the tallest building in most of our states. Let's take a look compared to a known controlled demolition on the right and Building 7 on the left. Is there any similarity? Is there enough similarity to warrant an investigation into the possible use of explosives, especially since every high-rise that has come down has been brought down with explosives and looks exactly like this. How fast is this building coming down? I'm going to drop this object. How fast does it fall? It falls at free fall acceleration. Why? Because there's no resistance under it, so it's falling freely. But there was 40,000 tons of structural steel under this building. In fact, 40,000 tons of structural steel that had to have been removed, synchronistically timed floor by floor, because that's how we get the building to fall straight down. Otherwise, it'll begin to tip over if that fraction of a second, split-second timing is not followed. Can fire, these fires, the worst fires which we have photographic or video evidence of, accomplish that level of precision? According to NIST, yes. NIST is the National Institute of Standards and Technology, tasked with explaining these collapses. This is World Trade Center 5. It was fully engulfed with fire. Did it come down? No. Mid-rise, high-rise office fires do not bring down skyscrapers. These gentlemen heard explosions. There were many more. And what did these construction workers tell us?
Keep your eye on that building, it'll be coming down. The building is about to blow up.
The building is about to blow up? How do they know? What did this first responder hear?
At the last few seconds, he took his hand off and you heard 3, 2, 1.
Do fires bring buildings down to countdowns? And how did the BBC report that this building came down 20 minutes before it actually did. They apologize for this grievous error. Does this make them psychic? What are the implications of World Trade Center 7 being a controlled demolition? Does that cast doubt on the official explanation of the Twin Towers? Let's take a look. First, a simple physics lesson. What happens when a Mack truck runs into a Volkswagen? The Mack truck wins, right? Does it matter if we drop the Volkswagen onto the Mack truck? No. The lighter part of a structure that's weaker cannot possibly destroy the heavier, stronger part. Take a look. The upper 12 stories of World Trade Center 1 is being destroyed in the first 4 seconds, just like a miniature controlled demolition. There's nothing left after 4 seconds to even destroy the rest of the building. And yet, look what's happening. An explosive geometry of pulverized building materials laterally ejected, trailed by pyroclastic-like smoke clouds. Does it look anything like a gravitational collapse? Or does it look more like an explosive event? What did these gentlemen experience?
We started running, floor by floor, it started popping out.
It was if they had detonated, if they were planned to take down a building. Boom, 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 boom.
All the way down.
As a matter of fact, hundreds of first responders and others experienced explosions and reported them, yet none of these made it into the official reports. And what about the extreme heat produced? Listen to this.
You'd get down below and you'd see molten steel. Molten steel running down the channel rails.
Like it was
Like
lava
lava.
from a volcano.
Like lava from a volcano, like this molten metal pouring out of this debris. We can tell by the color that it exceeds 2,800 degrees, the melting point of steel or iron. What can produce those temperatures? Not fire, not jet fuel. They only get about half that temperature. Here's thermite, an incendiary used by the military to cut through steel like a hot knife through butter, issuing 4,000-degree molten iron as its byproduct and fully capable of destroying steel structures, like which was done in World Trade Center 7, documented by officials, melting of steel and partially evaporating. What was found in all the World Trade Center dust? Residue of thermite, in this case molten iron spheres, and partially ignited thermite chips found by independent researchers. Did you know that the structural steel from the buildings, evidence from a crime scene, was illegally destroyed starting just 2 weeks after 9/11, shipped to China for recycling before investigators could even look at it? Now, all of this is just the tip of the iceberg of this evidence. Do you think that it might be important? Incredibly, most of it was not even included in the 9/11 Commission report or shown on TV. We gave them an F. Obviously, the implications are huge. After all, if we weren't told the truth about 9/11, and 9/11 was supposed to be the reason that we invaded 2 countries, then what in the hell was really going on here? Well, I can tell you this. 1,700 architects and engineers are blowing the whistle on 9/11. If that many technical and building professionals told you that your house was in danger of collapse, would you listen to them? On your campus, we'll present not speculation or conjecture, but the hard scientific facts and evidence, and the key steps to critical thinking, like we did at the University of Maryland.
Very compelling, very captivating, and I believe that the student body at the University of Maryland benefited a lot for having me here.
These students learned that it's dangerous for all of us when we let others do our thinking for us. We have to get back our critical thinking in this country. If we do, we might be able to prevent the next 9/11. Critical thinking helps you to chart your own course instead of blindly following others, peers, the media, and authority figures like politicians who just might have an agenda of their own. It's up to you to expose the dark truth about 9/11 because most everyone else has dropped the ball. We let the civil liberties that were handed to us be taken, consumed in the aftermath of 9/11. We can't allow the truth about 9/11 to be swept under the rug of history. The price is too high. I'm Richard Gage. Come visit us for the 9/11 explosive evidence. And don't let your campus be the last to know.